So yesterday, I did a little bit of a reaction video to an insane article on salon.com about a Yale psychiatrist who was saying all sorts of nutty things about Trump supporters, including that they're hypnotized child soldiers. And listen, the reaction I got was so good to that video. First of all, you guys seem to really like it when I wear my hair down, which is nice. Like, thank you. When I actually put on makeup, I guess that's good. But also, the reaction I got to the absolute insanity of that article was really entertaining for me. And so I went on Twitter and I asked for additional articles that I should react to. We can make it a whole week of this, a whole week of me reacting to crazy nonsense BS from salon.com. And one of the things I got was this beauty. Psychologist John Gartner, Trump is a sexual sadist who is actively engaging in sabotage. Sabotage, leading psychotherapist and author on Trump's worsening sadistic addiction to causing harm, pain, and death. This is from 3 days ago, and so I'm going to do a little reaction to this article. Now, just like yesterday, I haven't read this article. I haven't read it. I have no idea what's in it. I'm just going to spout off as thoughts pop into my head about it, and we're going to see where it goes, and if nothing else, like, I'll be amused by it. But first, a few quick things. Listen, if you like my channel, if you want to support my content, of course, the easiest thing you can do is subscribe, give it a thumbs up. If you think you're subscribed, you might just want to double check that because YouTube and frankly Twitter lately have been unfollowing people and unsubscribing people without them making that choice. But another thing you can do is actually donate to me on Subscribestar to help support this content so that I can rationalize continuing to make it and taking time away from my actual real life job. The reason I bring this up is that one of the perks, and this comes at all levels in my Subscribestar, is if you give to me on a monthly basis to support all this, then you get a shout out in one of my videos. And today I have not one, but two shout outs to give. So I have a shout out to Talisa. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the support. And I have a shout out to Emily. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One last thing, and then I promise we're going to jump right into the content. If you sign up on Subscribestar, guys, I've got something in the works. I've got something brewing. I'm going to be launching a community on locals.com, which is Dave Rubin's platform. I actually just talked to someone on his team about it yesterday. And for people who are already subscribed to me on Subscribestar, when I get it together, y'all are going to be my beta testers. You are going to get first access to the community, and you're going to get to try it out and give me feedback and really be a part in creating the type of community that you would enjoy and that I would enjoy making content for. So that's another benefit that's going to be coming. But with that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? Let's read this article. Oh my gosh, like, what am I even getting myself into now? As of Friday, the coronavirus pandemic has killed at least 50,000 people in the United States. That number is likely to be an undercount, and it's possible we will never have the true reckoning. Actually, I mean, a lot of doctors are coming out and saying that they're being pressured to call deaths attributed to COVID-19, even though they could be attributed to something else. So who really knows at this point? I'm not sure I even trust it, but like, I think what we can agree on is that it's an awful lot of people and it's not good. And you know, I'm not, you know, obviously that's not a good thing. At almost every juncture, Donald Trump has made decisions about the coronavirus pandemic that have led to more death. Okay, that's a pretty bold thing to assert while providing no evidence. His behavior is that of a person who has no care or concern for the health, safety, and welfare of the American people. This is what I don't understand. How is it possible that this can obviously be the biggest thing on Trump's plate, where he goes on TVs, maybe not so much anymore because they're cutting down on the briefings, but for several hours a day talking about this? The man looks exhausted. I'm sorry, like, Trump looks actually exhausted. So you know he's not messing around and taking TV time. He's actually working. I don't understand how people can say that. I think you know, Trump is a narcissist, yes. But to say that he doesn't care for the wealth or not the wealth, the health and safety of people, I think is, obviously it's not correct. Nothing could epitomize that more perfectly than his grotesque suggestion this week that injecting disinfectants or household cleaning products might kill the coronavirus. That's not actually what he said, but okay. This would seem comical. What I think is comical is people who keep reporting this in the media. That's what's more comical to me. Like, okay, so, stop, pause. Like, why is it that Democrats keep thinking, or the left, and I shouldn't say they're all doing this, but the ones that are out saying he told people to inject bleach into their system, like, why is it that they feel the need to clarify this? Because Trump supporters, people who listen and watch the daily briefings and don't lose their mind over all of this stuff, they know that's not what he said. They know that is not in any way, shape, or form what he was suggesting. The only people, literally the only people who need clarification about what Trump said are the people that are losing their minds and acting like crazy people and saying, Trump told people to drink bleach. These are the only people who need clarification about what was said. It's not Trump's supporters. It's everyone else. In 2016, the Obama administration told the president-elect Trump and his advisors of the high likelihood of a pandemic that would strike the nation and advised the incoming administration to take appropriate steps to reduce the impact, blah, blah, blah. Last November, the U.S. military warned Donald Trump that the country would likely be afflicted with a devastating pandemic originating in China. In January 2020, the Trump administration was told by its own experts that the coronavirus would spread beyond China and become a global pandemic. Again, Trump chose inaction. That is blatantly false. Trump formed his task force on, what was it, January 27th? I believe it was January 27th. While the dude was being impeached, well, I guess he had already been impeached, but the impeachment trial was going on in the Senate. He took action in January. This is documented. This is not even in dispute, but they always leave it out of these articles. Trump has deprived Democratic-led regions of the country from receiving needed medical supplies. That is blatantly untrue. Andrew Cuomo has praised his response. Gavin Newsom, in a shocking turn of events, has also praised him. That is completely false. He waited months to begin using the Defense Appropriation Act to compel American companies to produce more ventilators, masks, and other emergency equipment. He didn't use it because he didn't have to, because they were already doing it. And if you watch the dang daily briefings, you would know this. Late last year, Americans working with the World Health Organization began to warn Trump and his administration about the coronavirus pandemic. These doctors and other medical professionals were ignored. Yeah, because the WHO is who we should be taking recommendations from at this point. And listen, man, I'm not going to go over all of the chaos that the World Health Organization has caused in this. There are a million videos you can watch on that. In these examples and many others, Trump and his inner circle ignored or purged experts and other truth tellers and lied and misrepresented, blah, blah, blah. Okay, like, where's the good stuff, man? I want to know about how Trump is a sadist. We're going to go down a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Psychologist and psychotherapist John Gartner contributing to the best-selling book, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump. Oh! He contributed to that book that the woman in yesterday's article wrote, Bandy Lee. And so, The Dangerous Case of Donald Trump, and co-founder of the Duty to Warn PAC, has an answer. Donald Trump is a malignant narcissist. Our president's mental pathologies inexorably compel him to hurt and kill large numbers of people, including his own supporters. So, listen, I absolutely do think that Trump has a narcissistic personality disorder, 100%. There is nothing you can do to convince me otherwise. However, I don't use that as a pejorative. I don't, because it's actually a really sad thing, and if you investigate what narcissistic personality disorder actually is, it's actually a really sad thing, and it does not compel you to hurt and kill large numbers of people. That is absolutely false. And certainly his own supporters, like Trump's a lot of things, but he ain't killing off his supporters. Trump loves his supporters. Trump is fiercely loyal to his supporters, and he knows who brought him. He knows, and he wants to get reelected. Please. Dr. Gartner taught for many years at the Johns Hopkins University Medical School, well, that explains a lot, and has private therapeutic practices in Baltimore and New York, specializing in the treatment of borderline personality disorders. In our most recent conversation, he explains that sadism and violence are central to Trump's malignant narcissism and his decision-making about the coronavirus pandemic. I I think I might have a book written by this guy on my bookshelf. I'm gonna go look into that. Not right now, though. Gartner also warns that Trump is an abuser, locked in a deeply dysfunctional relationship with the American people, and that, like other sadists, Trump enjoys causing harm and suffering. Listen, okay. I'm going to get a little TMI for, like, maybe not TMI. I'm not going to share personal information about me. I coach executives. I'm an executive coach. And, like, one of the things I have learned from coaching powerful people repeatedly, and Joshua, my coach, has backed this up, is that people who are in powerful positions, they need, how do I say this without getting in trouble? They need to be able to have time to themselves where someone else takes control, okay? People who are overtly powerful in real life, in executive positions, in, say, the position of President of the United States, they need to give themselves an outlet to balance that out by putting someone else in control. They are not going to be they are not going to be the dominant in that particular relationship. They are going to be the submissive in that particular relationship. Have I been clear, folks? This is 100% wrong. To say that Donald Trump is the most powerful man in the world, like him or hate him, whatever. Donald Trump is the most powerful man in the world. He, in his private life, I mean, I don't know for sure, but he's gonna want to be looking for ways to take himself out of control, not putting himself in even more control. There would be no balance to his life if he did that. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna stop. We're gonna keep going. I've already gotten too inappropriate. Ultimately, Gartner concludes that Donald Trump is engaging in domicile behavior and cautions that tens of thousands of dead so far from the coronavirus pandemic are not simply collateral damage from Trump's policies, but rather the logical outcome of Trump's apparent mental pathologies and the poor decisions that flow from them. This person does not practice in real life. I'm going to say that right now. He might have other people working in his, but he does not practice in real life. Trump's behavior is very predictable. He has a very simple mind. Yet, Trump has a simple mind. Trump does not have a simple mind, please. Why do so many people treat him as some type of mystery? Why did they claim to be so surprised by his vile behavior? Yes, Donald Trump is simplistic, but an atomic explosion is also very simple. These people, man. How does the human mind remain in denial about Trump's nature when on an almost daily basis he reveals his true nature through cruelty, lies, violence, and other antisocial behaviors? There are many Americans who oppose Trump who continue to claim that they are somehow surprised by his behavior. Malignant narcissists are very sick people. They are sick in such a deep, disturbed, and dark way that a normal person cannot comprehend their behavior. Therefore, normal, mentally healthy people cannot imagine or understand the mind of a malignant narcissist. I truly don't believe that this man has ever actually practiced psychology. I don't believe he's a practicing person. I don't. Because to make this, or more likely, he's trying to sell you something, right? Because people who really practice in real life, they don't talk like this. They don't. There is no such thing as a simple human being. There is no such thing as a simple mind. It just doesn't exist. And when you talk to people over and over and over again in real life settings, you learn that very quickly. Listen, I talked about this in my video the other day, but just in case you didn't watch it, let me review. I'm an organizational psychologist. I am not an academic. I am not someone that sits in a college somewhere getting paid to pontificate. I actually practice and work with real people. I talk to real people all day. I coach real people all day. I have never come across one person that is a simplistic mind. It just doesn't happen. My partner in crime on the Trump derangement stuff, Dr. Howard Asher, he's a practicing psychotherapist. He talks to people every day. People like this guy, what they do is they sit up in their lofty positions. They don't do crap. They don't talk to people. They don't have conversations. They don't really understand people. All they understand is the theory. And so when you get people talking about the theory, listen, I can talk about the theory. If I talk about the theory of something, it is very different. It is very different to actually take that theory and put it into practice than it is to pontificate about the theory of what might happen based on textbook definitions that I've never actually encountered in real life. I don't believe this guy's practicing for one red second. As a mental health professional, what do you see when you watch Trump's so-called briefings about the coronavirus pandemic? So-called briefings. Like, how can a briefing be so-called? He gets up in front of the press, he says stuff, and he answers questions. Like, that's what a briefing is. How could it be what is the difference between a real briefing and a so-called briefing? Trump is both denying responsibility by saying things such as, I take no responsibility, we've done everything right. I mean, I gotta, okay, I'm gonna throw him that bone. Trump really should admit when he does things that are wrong. He really should. But at the same time, Trump is also sabotaging the efforts to stop the coronavirus pandemic. This is a very important aspect of Trump's behavior. Trump is not just deflecting blame onto the governors, he is actively interfering with the governors' ability to do their job. Trump is not just incompetent, he is actively engaging in sabotage. Then how do you explain why both Andrew Cuomo and Gavin Newsom have praised Trump's response, man? Go Google it. I'm not making this up. How does someone with this type of mind reconcile claims like, I have total power, with I take no responsibility? He has said both things within a few days of each other. This is a function of how the psychology of a malignant narcissist is structured. When Trump says things like, I have total power, that's grandiosity. I'm in total control, which is a function of Trump's paranoia. I don't know if I would say Trump is paranoid, where everything bad is projected outward. Therefore, anything negative or bad is someone else's fault. Like, okay, so this is actually a trait of, like, a narcissist. I mean, like, a narcissist has to be the center of their own universe, right? The world revolves around them. Everything they do is perfect. Everything they do is lovely. They have a really hard time admitting when they're wrong. They have a really hard time admitting when they make a mistake. However, I'm going to say this again. I don't say this as a pejorative. It's actually a very, very sad thing to constantly have to reframe your reality so that you are the center of the world. It puts a lot of pressure on people, and it's really sad. I don't, and people who claim to treat narcissists or people with like borderline personality disorder, he should know better. This is so irresponsible. Bad things are other people in Trump's mind. Yeah, I mean, I can actually get on board with that. The grandiosity and greatness are all him. Yeah. Trump's mind runs on a formula which bends and twists facts, ideas, and memories to suit his malignant narcissism. I mean, that might be true of a narcissist, but he's twisting it in a really, in the most overtly negative way that it could possibly be interpreted. And that is not the only way to interpret it. This is why Trump contradicts himself so easily. He lies and makes things up. He doesn't, like, Trump exaggerates things. And yeah, I would say there are times when Trump lies, or more commonly what happens is that Trump doesn't, Trump is kind of like shooting, he's like spitballing. He's going off the cuff and he's talking about things he may not know about. And then he wants to deny that he said something wrong later. That's most often what happens. I don't think that Trump, for the most part, deliberately lies. I think he says untruths, and it's more of like he's spitballing it or things like that. But I'm not going to say he never lies. I think he does, but I think a lot of it is explained in other ways. His fantasies all serve his malignant narcissism and the world he has created in his own mind about his greatness. The fourth component of Trump's malignant narcissism is sadism. The part of Trump's mind is more hidden. People, okay, we're getting conspiratorial now. It's hidden. People such as Trump are malignant, narcissist sadists because they, at some level, are driven to cause harm to other people. Trump's life is proof of this. He enjoys ripping people off and humiliating people. He does this maniacally and gleefully. He has lied more than 16,000 times. He threatens people online and elsewhere. I believe Trump is also a sexual sadist who on some basic level enjoys and is aroused by watching people be afraid of him. In his mind, Trump is creating chaos and instability so he can feel powerful. Again, I'm going to tell you, and I've had this backed up by other sources that are into, like, really into this sort of thing. People who are powerful in real life generally take the submissive position in the bedroom. People who are weaker in real life generally take the power position in the bedroom. That's how it works. Professor of psychiatry and psychoanalyst Otto Kernberg calls this phenomenon omnipotent destructiveness. The bullying, the violence, the destruction, frightening people, humiliating people, getting revenge, and the like. Such behavior is what Donald Trump has done his whole life. It is who Donald Trump is. Unfortunately, too many people are still in denial about that fact. Okay. He's making stuff up, literally making stuff up. If Donald Trump is primarily obsessed with omnipotent destruction, how is that fueling his behavior? You know, like, this is just like, yes, let's just make the assumption that everything that you've just said is completely true and above board and doesn't have your own bias at all. Donald Trump has to create a field of negative, corrupting energy around him. For example, he pressures scientific experts to bend the truth to his dream world during press conferences. You remember when Dr. Fauci looked like he looked so disgusted when some reporter was like, Dr. Fauci, are you doing this of your own free? Are you doing this voluntarily? I think was the question. Are you here voluntarily? And Dr. Fauci looked so disgusted at the insinuation that, like, he's like, of course I'm doing this voluntarily. Like, come on, man. The scientists are basically Trump's hostages. Look at this. Dr. Burke, Dr. Fauci, blink twice if you're in danger. The American people are hostages as well to Donald Trump. We're all being abused by him. We know that Trump is lying. We know that he's doing nothing to help us. We feel helpless to do anything to stop him. It is causing collective mental despair. You know what causes me collective mental despair? When people like this are trusted as experts. That is what causes me mental despair, because this is insanity, truly. In this way, Donald Trump is inducing feelings of rage and outrage. Oh yeah, it's Trump who's inducing rage and outrage and not the crazy left that lives and breathes on outrage. I'm losing my voice. I'm so fired up over this. Jesus. It is not that all Americans are suckers or dupes. It is that Trump is the master at such cruel, manipulative behavior. Donald Trump knows exactly what he's doing to the physical and emotional health of the American people. I envision Donald Trump as a megalomaniacal puppet. Guys, I might make a t-shirt with the phrase megalomaniacal puppet master on it, okay? Let me know if you buy that t-shirt in the comments, or like Trump, like something around that phrase. It's very amusing to me for some reason. The American people are his little marionettes. The American people must acknowledge that relationship to cut the strings. Just admit you're being abused, even if you don't think you are. It's okay. Just admit that you're being abused. Just admit it. This is a great analogy. Trump is a master at getting negative attention. That's true. And the more people can shock and upset, the better. Donald Trump has been doing such things for years. The pandemic has provided Trump with the opportunity to use his skills at such things into overdrive. America, with this coronavirus crisis, is now the Trump show. Oh my God. This is nuts. Society is a type of family. Leaders are fathers, mothers, and other types of parental authority figures. In that role, Donald Trump is abusing the American people. There's not even a question there. It's just a statement of fact. Well, fact, in quotes. Yes, the American people are being abused by Donald Trump. This is a key dimension of sadists. I also believe that... Okay, I'm gonna save it. I've already said I've beaten that dead horse, okay? I also believe that Donald Trump is domicidal. I would even go so far as to say that he is a domicidal maniac. If you look at human history, there is one trait that all malignant narcissist leaders have in common. They kill mass numbers of their own people. Why would Donald Trump be any different? This guy is literally calling Trump a mass murderer. Can we just let that sink in for a second? This is like a respected psychologist, who's someone whose book I'm fairly certain I have somewhere. I keep looking over my bookshelf because, like, I'm fairly certain I have this guy's book. Like, he's literally calling the president of the United States a mass murderer. A sadistic mass murderer, hell-bent on the abuse and torture of his people. These people have lost their minds. Like, I just don't know. Trump has had many public moments where one can see the convergence of his rage, misogyny, and violence. Oh, now we're throwing misogyny in there just for, it's like sprinkles on top of a sundae. Trump's press conferences have been a showcase for his pathologies. There is so much rage when a reporter makes clear that Trump is lying or asks for a basic question that challenges his self-delusions and fantasies. Trump's rage at women who challenge him, in particularly non-white women, such as PBS reporter Yamiche Alcindor, is palatable. Because we can't get through a single article without calling Trump a racist, a misogynist, and 19 different levels of names because he spoke to someone in a way that makes you upset. It is probably not lost on Trump that the people who are being disproportionately killed by the coronavirus are people in Democratic blue states and cities. Yes, because it's in cities. Oh my God, it's not about it being a Democrat, it's about there being a large number of people in a small space. Non-white people, poor people, other marginalized people in this society, working class people. These are people who Donald Trump sees as less than, inferior to him, the types of people he likes to grind down under his heels. I'm sorry. Is it just me, or was it Donald Trump who picked a fight with a union auto worker in Michigan? Or is that Joe Biden? Huh. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Biden. Yep, not Trump. In a course of a week, we literally had Trump cultists, his spokespeople saying people should sacrifice themselves for the economy. What? Literally go out and die. Of course, the real meaning there is that I want you to go out and die so I can be reelected because I'm dependent on the economy. They're actually saying, okay, like, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but they're actually saying that Trump said, or his spokespeople said, that people should kill themselves for the sake of the economy. What? I'm sorry, what? Trump and his allies have been telling people to go out and risk their lives as an act of loyalty to the economy. And of course, Trump is willing to see people die to ensure, at least in his mind, that he will be reelected. In many ways, he is positioning himself as a god who demands human sacrifice. Dude. What is wrong with these people? He's positioning himself as a god who demands human sacrifice. Listen, if the person doing this stupid, retarded interview, like, ever, and I know I shouldn't use that word, but whatever, ever went to the supermarket and couldn't buy the products that they want, like, do they expect people who work at supermarkets to not do their job so that they can have, like, whatever food that they want? People need to work, man. Work gives people a sense of purpose. Work gives people a direction. Work is a good thing. Ugh. Such behavior and beliefs are common among malignant narcissists. Malignant narcissists like Donald Trump view other human beings as kindling wood to be burned for their own personal enrichment and enlargement and expansion. Okay. This is like getting uber repetitive at this point, but we're going to finish it. We can do this, folks. We got this. Beyond mere negligence, much of Trump and his regime's behavior is malevolent, Trump and his sycophants know that potentially millions of Americans could die, but choose to do nothing. Yeah, Trump's done nothing. Trump has done nothing since January when he formed the GD task force and then has been on TV every single day. His administration has gone too far as to purge people from the government who are trying to warn the public. Oh, has he fired Anthony Fauci yet? Oh, I'm sorry, did I miss that? No, he hasn't. Again, that behavior is part of the psychology of malignant narcissist leaders. They are homicidal. Malignant narcissists kill many of their own people through wars and political terror. Oh, so now Trump is engaging in an act of political terror, but also through willful incompetence. These types of leaders actively do nothing that will do things that will kill large portions of the population. Causing harm is a type of addiction to them. Donald Trump's addiction is only getting worse. Donald Trump is a human predator. That is what he does. He will not change. At this point, I hold the American people, the news media, the Republican Party, and its voters ultimately responsible for the calamity that is Trump's reign. The 2020 presidential election will decide either life or death in America. You hear that, folks? Life or death. What would you tell those Americans and others who would object to your analysis? Oh, this is a good question. Who would object to your analysis of Trump and the danger he represents? Because many people would protest that whatever Trump's flaws may be, of course he loves America, and it's inconceivable we would want to have a president who would actively seek to harm American people. All right, you ready? Ready? Follow the facts to the obvious and true conclusion. If all the facts show that Donald Trump is a malignant narcissist, if all the facts show that what facts is this guy using? With these powerful sadistic tendencies, the omnipotent destructiveness where he's getting pleasure and the sense of power from dominating people and degrading people and destroying people and plundering people and laying waste to people both psychologically and physically, then to deny such obvious facts is willful ignorance. We're all being willfully ignorant here, folks. All of us. What do you think Donald Trump will do if, shortly before November 3rd, it appears clear that he's going to lose the election? Like, let's play in this make-believe fantasy land for a second. Rather than making a prediction as to Trump's specific actions, it is more helpful to describe the type of actions he will take, rather than trying to say, this is a move he'll make. Like in a relationship, Trump is the abuser. He is the husband or father who is abusing his partner or children or other relatives. The American people are like a woman who is leaving her abuser. And by the way, women abuse men quite often in relationships, so I don't appreciate the gendered language in this article. She tells her abuser, that's it, I am done with you. She has her keys in hand and is opening the door of her house or apartment to finally leave. What happens? The homicidal maniac, Trump, will attack us badly. Make no mistake, Donald Trump is going to find a way to attack and cause great harm to the American people if he believes he will lose the 2020 election. Man, listen, if I were Trump, I would be suing these people so hardcore. I've only read 2 articles from Salon this week. It's only Tuesday, folks. I've got 3 more to go. So if you have an article that you would like me to react to from salon.com or an equally crazy article from another source, link it up in the comments, send me a tweet, whatever, reach out on my website, send me the link. I'll take a look at it. This is insanity. I can't believe this is real. Whatever.